Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to your live Investment Dominator Q&A call. I am Warren Davis, and we're here on this beautiful, it's beautiful Monday. It is the 27th, excuse me, yes, the 27th. It is the 27th of January. And we are here once again. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. You can see the LPG deal flow, and you can hear me as well. That's good. I guess Paul said enough of me asking all the every week to can you hear me? Can you see me? But thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm so glad all of you are on the call. Got quite a few folks on the call today. And great. Okay. Hello to Kevin and hello to Rebecca. I tell you, it's a lot of folks just saying hello this morning or this evening. I appreciate that. Going to get started. You can see my LPG deal flow screen, which means those of you that are brand new, hopefully you know that we're here to get your questions answered. I talked to so many people there in Tampa, Florida, and really got a chance to meet some really wonderful people and to invite them to our weekly Q&A call. And it looks like they are showing up, and that is good. So if you're new for the first time and you want to get your questions answered, please, first of all, don't worry about the little hand sign here. You know, a lot of times I don't see that with so many comments coming in. And if you want to type in your questions there, like some of you have already started doing, I love that. We didn't get any questions in through the ticketing system, but we're getting them in now here through you online. So that's great. So just type in your question, hit send, and it will get to me. And we are here to get your questions answered for the Investment Dominator. Just want to forestate that we have coming this, I think it's the 20th and the 21st, we have our next 2-day maximizer workshop. And so that being said, I'm going to go right into the Investment Dominator screen here and basically end this tour, give you an idea for our maximizer workshop. We can't emphasize enough the 3 things that we want you to get done before that 2-day workshop. Some of you are going to actually come to that workshop. First thing we want you to do is have your signature set up. Excuse me. So you'll have your profile set up with your signature. And secondly, we want you to have your company information set up. Meaning you got to have your company phone set up. So you've got to know your phone systems and determine if you're going to use Ring Central and how you're going to set up your phone system. Are you going to go directly to Pat Live, etc. And then obviously have an offer phone set up so that you can determine when you get those offers, I accept your offers, and they want to discuss them with you, what number are they going to call back? And finally, your selling site phone number, which we always recommend is a separate phone number from your other phones, because the seller site are all site phone is actually your buyers. You want to make sure that you get your buyers completely separate from all of your sellers, which are on the offer phone and the company phone. So we hope we have this company information set up. It will be very important when you actually get into the 2-day maximizer workshop. And thirdly, which is the big one, we would appreciate you having your buying site and your selling site configured in the Investment Dominator, which means you also had to do work on your domain provider site. So that's the 2 domains, a buying site domain and a selling site domain. Several individuals have been asking me if they can have one domain and have these 2 sites share that one domain. Absolutely not. That will not work in our actual business model, and trying to keep the buyers separate from the buying site, which is you buying real estate. So those are your sellers. You want to keep them completely separate from your selling site, which are your buyers. Okay. So that stated, we do have questions just streaming in today. And I will do my best, of course, to get to all of them. And in a short amount of time, hopefully. Before we get some of the questions, I'll take them as I can take them coming in. We have one that seems to be pretty straightforward, and we talked about the big three. The next one, which is kind of a general question that did come in, I think, through our ticketing system. Let's go on and get started with these questions. How should you secure your domain? How do you secure your domain after setting up your buying and selling sites in GoDaddy and on the Investment Dominator? That's a very good question, which came in through our ticket system. How do you basically secure your sites? So very important that you do secure your sites. Underneath, with your each buying and selling site, let me use we'll use this one here. Okay. All right. We'll log back on here. Let's see. So to secure your sites, basically, and when we talk about securing your sites, all we're talking about is making sure that this lock is showing on all of your buying and your selling sites. People just feel more comfortable when their sites are locked, and when they're going on to or accessing a secure site, even though they're not putting money on it, they still feel comfortable. So you secure your sites by going into buying or selling site. When you hit change your domain, and you come in here and you put in your buying or selling site domain, and you say, yes, I have basically configured my domain on the GoDaddy side. I'm taking it and I've connected it to the WWC name record. You go next, then you'll hit confirm. When you hit confirm, it says click here to secure your domain. And that's the part where you want to make sure, even though you've set your buying and selling site up, this secure your domain basically is going to put this little lock on your particular selling and buying site so that people feel secure that when they go on your site, they're going to see this little lock and they know that their information they're putting in is secure. Now, very important for you to know that when you click here on your domain, okay, this one right now says renew SSL because this has already been set up. Just so you know, those of you that are new, you get a free, this is absolutely free, SSL certificate for your buying site and your selling site. So you'll get to secure both of your sites for free. Just click on here and then go generate. Don't use this one down here. Don't use this lower one because that goes through a series of steps. When your SSL certificate was not free, you had to go through this list of steps below. Now that you have a free SSL certificate, all you have to do is just say generate SSL. And then when you click OK, it'll go through, you generate your SSL certificate. It'll go through a series of processing steps, and then your SSL certificate will be generated. And then, of course, you want to come down here to the very bottom and hit update site. So please go through those lists of steps, and you will be able to secure your buying and your selling site. And we would appreciate it if you could have that done before the 2-day workshop. But you basically want to have these 3 steps done just to get ready for doing business anyway. So if you're not coming to the 2-day workshop, in order for you to start sending out letters, neutral letters, and handling offers, etc., you do want to go on and make sure that you get your buying site and selling site secure. You want to make sure you get your company information set up, and you want to make sure your profile with your signature is on there. Okay, so that's something you want to do as well. Okay. So one question have from Kevin here this evening, which I think is pretty straightforward. Kevin was asking about how to make changes to the accept date, escrow, close date. Oh, and offer on offer letters. Yes. Okay, if you want to change those dates, no problem. Just making sure I write down this question. Okay. Escrow, close date. And I'm believing that you're speaking of, our default. So under customize here, left clicking on customize, you can set up the document and template settings. Okay, under the document and template settings, you can see here the default offer except by, it gives them 14 days here. Default offer, if you want this to print out your close of escrow, this is set for 90 days, which is 3 months. Now we normally set ours to 180 days, but that's where it's at. It's at the document template settings under your customize. And you can go in here and set this, normally ours is 10 days. We give them 10 days to respond back to us in our offers. And, hopefully they'll accept our offer. And then we give ourselves 180 days, which is basically 6 months to close. So this is where it will all be set up and configured, and you can make those changes. Make sure you update the site after you make those changes. And then when you produce your documents, it will produce accordingly, okay? So Kevin, hope that handles your question. All right, got some more questions coming in here. Let's see, we addressed the securing. You guys are asking some great questions. Okay, from Jim. And it's simply, what is the optimum pixel size? So yeah, I've had this question a couple of times. I think even when I was in Tampa for the buying site, banners and logos. Okay. So what Jim may be talking about here, what's the pixel size? That's the question. What is the pixel size for the buying site, banners and logos? And what he's really referring to here is under customize. Let's go back to this version. Under customize, let's see, we go to the buying site. We now have the capability, you have 3 different themes, if you will, that you can incorporate on your site. You can have the legacy theme, which is what we normally use. Before we had our 2.0 theme, which has the nice lady with the other attractive couple here, flashing money. And somebody told me in Tampa we shouldn't have lady flashing so much money, because it's like we're gonna pay a whole lot for their land, and they don't want to put that out there. But anyway, I digress. What I'm talking about here is this custom theme, uploading the custom theme. You can, if you have somebody that's skilled in this area, you can do your own theme, if you will. So you can get another picture that looks like this nice lady here or this couple, but you can upload it so your site can look basically different than everyone else's site. What we want you to know is that your pixel size, for it to look the best, optimum pixel size is 110 pixels 810 pixels wide, and it's going to be 119 pixels high. So if you upload your own theme, all right, you want to set the pixel, all right, just so you know, set the pixel 110 pixels wide and 119 pixels high. All right, and then if you want to upload a particular site logo that you're going to bring in to Investment Dominator, the pixel size for those is 207 pixels wide and 54 pixels high. So that's for the buying site logos. All right. So let me put that in here for you. For the buying site logo image. So that's this part right in here. If you want to upload a buying site image. Again, want to make sure you get that. It's got to be 207 pixels wide, 54 pixels height. And then you'll be good to go. Okay. Anyone that needs that type of information, or obviously if you have what they call a CSS coder, someone that's can make you a real nice custom theme there in like no time at all, you will be in good shape. Okay, we have a question here from Rebecca. And she's asking, how can I find sellers my husband input info on? Sellers. Is there a recently added data area? Oh, no. Let's see. How to find sellers. Your husband recently put info on. Well, Rebecca, hopefully your husband would remember, but if he's, if he sometimes is like me, which I do forget, what I might have done, there's no real area where you can say, recently added data. But thank you. There is a couple of different ways you could look at this. Okay, to find data that you might have recently put into the system. Let's say, so if I go into this record, this is record number 391. That's one of my sellers or prospects. And I add, let's say, the primary phone number. So I have that information, and let's say my city, I'm going to say is, I like Miami. And okay, so I made some changes to this record, and I'm going to update the record. So let's see. You can look at the last updated date. That's one way, because see, I just updated this record on the 27th at 5:18. That's one way. If he knew the date that he updated it, you could search for this specific date. Those would be records that he added. Okay, it was a record last updated. Now, if he doesn't remember all the records he touched, you could go up here under team. I'm just kind of thinking about this as I go, and I'm thinking go over here to the activity log. Okay. And you see here where my last recent update was, and it tells the record that I actually updated. So you could go into team and look, hopefully your husband, when he logged in, because it tells the exact user that logged in, the date and time that they logged in, and it tells which actual records specifically that they updated. I think that might be the fastest way for you to do it. And let me see, when you go to detail, yeah, it's going to say, yeah, that's a pretty good way too. He's just going to say, I put in this information, I put in the property city, the owner's name, and I put in the phone number. So I think that's probably your fastest way to make that happen. Okay. Hopefully, wow, I tell you, you guys are coming up with some questions here. This is great. Excellent. Believe it or not, sometimes I get on these calls and I'm thinking, wow, I haven't seen enough questions that's gonna, last a whole hour. I wonder if I'm gonna have enough questions for the whole hour, but you guys come through with shining colors. So thank you very much. Okay, so hopefully, Rebecca, that will help you in determining the last changes that your husband made. Let's go on to a kind of a little bit of a business question. Another Jim had a question, and he's asking, how does Pat Live access your Investment Dominator account? This may be kind of basic for some of you. Okay, when a prospect calls. All right, for an offer. Okay, so how does Pat Live get into your account basically? Now there's one of two ways that once you set up an account with Pat Live, and Pat Live is the call center that that take our prospect neutral letter calls. So once we send these prospects out to, let's say, letterprinting.net, and the letters go out, there's going to be a phone number on there, and hopefully the people will call back either through Ring Central or directly to Pat Live, and they will these records will be in the system as prospects. So Pat Live will either, you can when they access your account, they're going to either come through because you've set them up an actual user name, like you see here, and but they're not admins, so they should be reps. So this should be the only really valid one in here, and we'll just say that the username is rep@demo.com, right? I would call it something different, but whatever it is that you specified, this is how they're going to actually have access and the information. So part of the question is the information that they're going to actually put in. They're going to sign in, and when they sign in, there's one of two ways you will have either given them a script, because when they sign in and they want to put this information in to your file here, they want to update any of this information, Pat Live needs to have a script. So that's one way they can do it. You can send them an actual script, which will be something short and sweet. Like, I'll show you an example of a script that we sent them a few years back. All right, here's our Pat Live script. Mentioned you receive a letter, what county is the property in. So you can send them a script kind of like this, and they will go through this list of questions for each person that calls in. this is something that you can automatically send them, like we did a long time ago. Or there's another way to do it. Rather than sending them a script, you can instruct PatLive when you log in with your ID, I automatically want you to select the record that you want to update the information, and I want you to use this new offer request script here. So that's one of two ways PatLive can get into your system, and they'll click on this new offer request. It will, of course, come down here and ask them all of these questions. This is a pretty straightforward way to get all of the information all at once, and PatLive would know how to do this. If you're managing them properly and you tell them what kind of representative you want them on your account, they will ask all of these questions, and then they'll say process offer request. The moment they enter all this information, hopefully they get it correctly, and they say process offer request, it's going to now come back. It's going to automatically put it in pending preliminary research status. So that's what the system is going to do for you. So those are the two different ways PatLive will get into your system. They will log in. Again, they're going to log in, and you will either have a script for them, or you'll have them use the new offer request. And make sure you use this new offer request. You don't want to use this new offer request up here. That's at the bulk level. You want to use this one down here, so that because you've selected a specific record, okay? So I'm hoping that pretty much answers your question on how PatLive can access your data on your account. And don't assume, a lot of people are assuming that PatLive already has a script. They may or may not have a script. So you want to make sure you send them specific instructions on how they're to put data in, because if you don't have instructions for them, what they're going to do is you might end up with an email that will have that you got a prospect call, and it'll have the person's name, but you won't have that information in your Investment Dominator record. That's the problem. So it's very important that you give them specific information to log in, select the record, and then update the data in the record and make sure it goes to the next status. They know to put it in pending preliminary research status, but you have to be very specific with PatLive as you're managing them. Okay, more questions coming in. Great. All right, so okay, this is a kind of a general question, I think, for everyone, that everyone can benefit from. The 3 different phone systems, and I have acquired this over just listening to different coaching students, and especially being at the 3-day live event there in Tampa. So what are the 3 phone services that have multiple extension service? Okay, just so that we understand what we're talking about here. You can have Ring Central. You can have another company called eVoice, evoice.com, or you can use PatLive, and PatLive has the system called Tresta now. So just so everybody knows what I'm talking about, one would be Ring Central. all of these have what they call extension service capability. I said eVoice, I think it's evoice.com, or you can use PatLive, and you can use their Tresta. They have a new system, I think that's called Tresta. Both of these have the capability to do, all three of those have the capability to do what we call extension servicing. And when we're talking about that is under customize, under company information. Company phone here can be one phone number, and your offer phone. So remember, your company phone, that's the number that is on your neutral letters as you go out of Investment Dominator. Your offer phone is the number that when people call back and say, hey, when you send them an offer, when they call back and say, hey, I'm interested in an offer, you send them an offer. When you send that offer out, the offer phone number goes on your offers. So you could have the same number on your company phone and the same number on your offer phone. And so when the customer calls in, it'll say press 1 if you want to, if you want to sell us your land, press 1, or press 2 if we've already sent you an offer and you want to discuss that offer or accept our offer. So these are two different extensions, but as you can see, the same phone number. And I want you to be aware that with this information, so you don't get confused, RingCentral offers this service, eVoice.com offers this service, and PatLive, Tresta, offers this service. So those are the three different phone services. And from what I've heard, I guess they'd say the word on the street is that eVoice may be less expensive than PatLive or RingCentral. I do know PatLive's Tresta is less expensive than RingCentral. RingCentral of these three seems to be the most expensive. I think it's like around $30, $31. Some of you that have it know for sure. PatLive's Tresta, I think, is right around $15 or $16. And I think eVoice, I don't know what eVoice is, but I heard it's less than PatLive. So those are the three phone services that all have the capability for you to have multiple extensions. And hope you will be successful going after that. That's not really, it's kind of Investment Dominator related questions since we have your company information in here. But more of a business. Okay. All right. Very good. Everybody, I appreciate your questions coming in. Okay, and JS is asking. I tell you, a lot of y'all are asking questions today, which is good, good, good. So how do I change the order of the properties on my selling site? Oh, the order of the listings, I'm imagining. Okay, haven't had that one for a while. Let me make sure I get the question down. Broken camp. How to change the order of properties on the selling site. So let me see here. Let's say if we have the selling site, if we go in here, okay, I have to put in a Let's see. Have to be kidding me. Okay, well, let's go over here. Okay. So imagining, really speaking of this particular order of listings is what I'm thinking you're saying. So to make sure I'm on the right one. And let's see. Page. The domain. The menu. Okay, signs that terms, privacy. Cancel. Okay. Under land. Complete, ready to sell. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So property listing order is right here. If we want to move it up or move it down. I figured it was somewhere in here. Yeah, it's right here. You move it up to one, and we'll make sure that this is the right listing. Let's see here. So price $14,995. So always want to make sure, because this is public, always want to make sure you update your record. Okay. And I probably should have found one that's a little easier to see. Now let me go back. We'll find an example here. Go back under our selling. Okay, this one has 2 on it. That's good. That's good. So I can edit that. All right. That should be the way to do it. You update your record. This particular one is selling for, this is Ms. Johnson. Okay, this is selling for the 27.5. Okay. So 0. All right, I'm going to fix this here. See? Okay, let me see, make sure under these that my opt-in page is disabled. All right. There we go. So this one is first. Now, if I wanted to make this one first, I'll just move this one down. So that means our selling site 2750 after I move it down. That's basically the way you do it in all of your records. Go back in land deals, you want to come over to selling. Okay. Make sure I'm editing the right one. Okay, this one. If I say I want to move it down for 27.5, update the record. Let me close that out. Okay, well, that did not work like I planned for it to work. so that is how it's supposed to be done, though. So I will have to put a note. Moving down did not. Yeah, see, it's blanked out. So let me try something else real quick here just to see. I tell you, I hate when my demos don't go right. Selling. Let's try this. Okay, this is for 18.5. I want to move it up to position 1. Update the record. Okay. Selling sites. Nope, that should work. But in our demo, it is not working. Yeah, this is the one I tried to move up, 18.5, and I should be able to move this one up. So I'm going to make a note that that's not working in our demo, but that's the order. That's the way you want to move your listings up in Investment Dominator. Moving them up or moving them down. Okay, hopefully that will at least give you some on your live account. It should work. If it does not work, which I can't imagine, usually this is a demo account, so it's sometimes it's not just not operating right. But if it does not work, come under help, put in create a new support ticket, and just specify that it's not working. I'm going to get with our technical group and make sure the listings can be moved as expected. Okay, just want to note that it did not work for me. Okay. All right. Oh, just got a note from Paul that he uses Nextiva, which also supports multiple extensions. That's good to know. Thank you, Paul. I guess he has it spelled N as in Nancy, EXTIVA. Also supports multiple extensions. So that's just another particular service. I hadn't heard of that one. And so he has it called Nextiva. Great. Thank you very much, Paul, for that information. And all right, got another question coming in. Let's see. Okay. So Rebecca was saying that today she printed off, printed off the offer letter. No, okay, Rebecca, the offer does not print your signature. Okay, it's not the offers. So let me make sure I clear that up for you. Did not print signature, and it won't print your signature because you're in land deals here, and your prospect letters have your signature. So the offer letters, offer request, when you come in here and you print these, or you produce all of these, you go into campaigns and you look at your actual offers. They are not supposed to print your signature. Your signature, you're the seller. See, like our offers, when we print them off, we actually sign them ourselves. We don't have the system put in our particular offer. We don't have the system put in our signature. You could do that if you wanted to do that. You had to create a custom version of this particular offer if you wanted to do this. But just by and large, the only systems, or the only part of the system when you go into your prospect neutral letters, these are the ones that the system automatically prints out your signature on, okay? So here's my initial neutral letter going out, and as you can see, my signature automatically comes from the system, right? And that's the one, that's the actual signature that the system pulls. And the logic for that is simple, that you don't have nearly as many offers as you do neutral letters going out. So it makes sense that you want some help when it comes to printing out, printing your signature on your neutral letter. That's your first communication. It's not saying that, hey, I'm going to buy this land for X amount of dollars. So they, basically the thinking is that since you have fewer offers, you can go in, create these offers, and sign them yourself, because, and that's what we do each week. We sign our own offers. So anyway, I hope that makes sense to you, and that helps you to understand what we're talking about here. Let's see, I wanted to go into one more question. We had some questions around notes, and I'll do it real quick here because we're running out of time. Let's see. So in terms of notes, you know, there were some folks trying to put in notes, and you know, these notes are for seller financing deals. So this may be ahead of where some of you all are at right now. Some of you may not be in the seller financing portion, but just so you know, I'll be over here on this other account here. If I go into notes, and you see I have 3 notes. These are seller financing deals, so people have put down money and they're making payments. Now notice, if I go into this account, for those of you that are going to be using notes, one of the things you'll notice, because I have 3 of these accounts already, okay, if I try to go and add a new note here, I'm going to get this message: sorry, you've reached your limit 3 for the amount of notes that you can generate and manage in your system. Please call us at 602-712-0182 to upgrade your account. So that is another way of saying, basically, you can have 3 free ones that you can process in the system. When you get past the 3rd one, there's going to be a charge. I have no idea what that charge is. So let's see. 29 and discussion on notes. Okay, past 3 notes, you'll be charged. And then the other question, so if you want to enter a new note, you can enter these notes if you only have, you know, less than 3. Now, if you have more than 3, you go in, you get your site or your account updated, and then you can come in and enter new notes. Just so you know that in order for you to be able to enter notes, all right, in your land deals records, the records must be in complete ready to sell, or it should be under your selling. So they have to be in complete ready to sell status, or they have to be in sold status, either one. So let's see, if we edit this record, it's incomplete ready to sell, or you can have it in sold status, either one. And then only when the records are in this status can you bring them in and actually add a note to them, okay? Or put them under your seller financing is basically what I'm trying to get you to understand here. And then the last thing I want to show you here real quick is, so some people are saying, okay, well, if I got 3 and 1 I didn't really want, how do I delete it? This is a little different than just selecting it, and you see we can't delete it over here. So when you're in your notes and you want to delete an entire note contract, if you will, select it, you can edit it over here to the right, and then you go up under edit record, and then you scroll down, and here's where you say delete the note. So that's how you have to delete the note. You can't just come in, see this note, select it, and delete it over here like you can in your land deals records. If I was in my land deals records, I could just come over here, look at all my prospects, and you know, more mail letter ones, and I could just come here, and you see I have the capability over here to delete. Not so with notes. Select it, you can edit it, you have to edit it, then you have to say edit the record, because as you can see there's nowhere to delete the note here. You edit the record in the upper right hand corner and then come down and delete the note. Okay, so had a few more questions come in. I will get to them. Okay. Okay, and just to clarify on Rebecca's question, you know, she's saying not the offer agreement, but it's the same it's the same, Rebecca. When we go into campaigns and the cover letter, you know, here's a cover letter or an offer, either one. Neither one of these are going to have my signature in them, even though I enable. We don't automatically put that. This is your offer cover letter. We don't sign it. We want you to sign that if you're talking about the cover letter or the offer, either one. We want you to sign that. Now, you do have the capability if you wanted to create a custom document. So you could create a custom document and I could show you how to put in your signature automatically, but a lot of folks don't do that. They just go on and sign the actual agreement themselves, okay? So if you want to know how to make a custom offer letter, so that you can have yours with your signature on there, like we have a custom offer letter here, go ahead and let me know, and I'll be prepared to show you how to do that. Okay. All righty, people. I've enjoyed being on here with you. Let me leave a thought for you today. Just so you know, I think you're wonderful. You guys, I always enjoy talking to you. I get a chance to talk to a lot of you on the phone, doing the onboard calls and, you know, some of the coaching calls. Okay, here's a quote from John D. Rockefeller. I do not think there is any other quality so essential to success of any kind as the quality of perseverance. It overcomes almost everything, even nature. So that's a quote from John D. Rockefeller. So I hope you all take that. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll be back here Thursday at 12 noon our time and 1 p.m. Central Time. And it's 2 p.m. for Eastern Time. And we hope to see you, or at least to have you on the call. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye now.